So since I haven't introduced myself yet, for those that haven't met me yet or don't know who I am, I'm Chris Meets. I am the founder of AnywherePOD. So I've been in the print-on-demand space. It's going on about a decade now, primarily with helping merchants. I was working for kind of smaller, more regional print provider who a couple years ago kind of went a different direction and was getting out of the POD space. And I had a lot of ideas, not only on the personalization side, but on the workflow side that I saw could really be improved and help speed up the time that it takes to go from design to completed listing on Etsy. So I kind of pulled all those ideas together, and that's kind of where AnywherePOD got started. So just a quick little background on me. I know you guys aren't here to hear me jabber and hear my life story. So I want to jump into it right away and kind of get into all the cool things that we want to show you guys today with AnywherePOD. So as Anna mentioned, we're going to kind of be going over, we call this kind of our 101 class, right? So I had some people ask that have been AnywherePOD members for a while, if this is the same as sessions that we've done before, or if it's worth them joining. Each one of these is live, and you know, as Anna mentioned, we take a lot of questions throughout the whole thing. We want to make sure to answer all your questions. So even if you are an existing member of AnywherePOD, I'm sure there's still going to be nuggets that you kind of find along the way, especially since we have a few things that we're going to be going over in a little bit that we haven't demoed in a live or in a boot camp yet. So I'm excited to kind of jump in and show you guys that as well. So let me share my screen, and we will get started here. And you should see, it should be a pinned comment. Actually, I did drop in the kind of design pack and everything that is going to cover, should pretty much cover all of the designs and all of the mock-ups and everything that we're going to be covering over the next couple days as well. So if you guys download the files that are there, that'll get you kind of set up for the next few days as well. So this is AnywherePOD here on my dashboard. You'll see in this case, I'm already connected to multiple different print suppliers. So we have a total of 7 that we're working with right now, and a few others that we're kind of in the onboarding process on. Some of these you may recognize, some of them you may not. So one of the things with AnywherePOD is, besides giving you those print providers such as Printify, CustomCat, Shine on T-Launch that most people in the POD space have heard of, we're also focused on getting print providers that have really good high quality products that may not be as well known. So we have some exclusive integrations here with DecoPlate, which really is kind of a hidden gem in the POD world, in my opinion, and Usha Mercantile, who has a great product line as well. Those are exclusive with AnywherePOD, so it's a little bit harder to find those products other places. So I would recommend taking some time to check them out as well. The other thing I have here connected that we're going to be using specifically for the bootcamp today is going to be our Etsy integration. And then we are connected to Canva here as well. We'll be discussing that here in a bit. And then I'm connected to Shopify as well. One of the things that we do that's kind of unique at AnywherePOD is, if you are selling on both Etsy and Shopify, we let you build that product once in AnywherePOD, and then you can just select which platform you want to send it to without having to, you know, copy or duplicate or make changes or anything like that. So it makes it very easy if you're selling on both platforms without ending up with a bunch of duplicate products between you know, both platforms that you're selling on. So okay, so what we're going to be walking through today, as I said, is going to be an example of an ornament. So when it comes to building products with AnywherePOD, it's very similar to how you build products with Printify that I'm sure most of you are familiar with, except instead of building the product starting in Printify, you're just going to build it in AnywherePOD, and it's all going to be integrated to your Printify account automatically, which allows us to add a lot of additional functionality on top of that you don't normally have available. So what I'm going to do here is come to our product catalog here at the top. You'll see the full product catalog of all of our suppliers listed in here. So if we come in here and go to ornaments, and I'm just going to be looking at a Printify ornament here. So again, very similar product creation process is what you're used to on Printify. You select the category, and then you select the product and the print supplier. In this case, I'm going to come down here and go to page 2 because I'm looking for this ornament right here from SwiftPOD. So I'm going to come right over here and go to Start Designing. Now this is going to take you into our kind of product and artwork designer. Again, very similar to what you have when you're designing with Printify. Is after you select your product, then this is where you're going to upload and configure all of your artwork and those settings. So if I'm using something like Photoshop or Kittl or something other than Canva, I would utilize my upload artwork option here on the left. This is going to let me upload a PNG of my artwork that I've downloaded from whatever system I'm using to design. And then I can add in any personalization layers here inside of AnywherePOD that I need to. In this case, I'm going to be working with design from Canva. You guys will see this there should be a Google Doc in that link in the comments that will have a template link to this design. So I'm going to come in here and go to Add from Canva. And I'm going to be doing this deer ornament right here at the top. So we're going to start with page 1. If this was not a personalized design, I could import this as a PNG and it would kind of, flatten it and import it as a PNG, just like as if you downloaded from Canva. But in this case, we're going to import layers. Now, the reason we're doing this is we have some personalization that we're going to enable on this ornament. So by importing it as layers, it is going to import that design exactly how I have it set up inside of Canva with all of my fonts, my positioning, my sizing, my font colors. All of that is already set up for me when I import as a layer that way, which makes it much, much easier to set up. So that's why you see us talk about this Canva integration so much, is because it really cuts down on the amount of setup that you have to do, especially on personalized designs. This works with a lot of Canva features. So if you're familiar with Canva and you use frames where you can put an image and make it a specific shape or anything like that, all of that will integrate and come over correctly already, set up and everything for you automatically.
So Chris, can you just go back 1 second to answer? Maybe I wasn't listening because I wasn't clicking the chat. But did you show them how to just import an image if they weren't using Canva?
We did talk about that. Yeah. Yep,
you did briefly. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So guys, I just want to point out right here, if you've ever created any listing, right here alone, we've saved a ton of time. So if you think about the process, if you're using Canva, you'd have to download and upload this. If you are doing like basic personalization, like a name or adding that date, well, think about you would have to leave the space open so that when you imported it into wherever, you would have to then configure the personalization and reset that up. If you were doing your mock-up, you would have to do that with your personalization as well. You'd have to then add in the personalization to the mock-up. We're going to show you how to set that up. But all of that would be all these manual steps. So already we've eliminated all of that by just being able to click a couple buttons and bring it over, click the personalization buttons, and now we're good to go. I think the only thing that maybe I missed it because I was paying attention to the chat is the box being dynamic. Did you talk about that?
We haven't gotten into
okay.
that.
Okay, sounds good. All right, then
yeah, we will.
I'll stop talking.
I did see in the comments a couple people were maybe having an issue with unzipping the mockup demo file that was in that Google link. If you go back to that Google link, I just dropped in the unzipped version of that. So you should be able to get access to that now.
Okay, so it looks like we have some other questions I think that we should just address before we continue. So Colleen first said, I couldn't really use this last night. I spent hours redoing something from Canva into AnywherePOD. Yeah, that button just makes it super easy.
Sure.
Murray says the image isn't coming over from Canva for me. Any tips there?
Is it the same design that you're doing? If so, it should come through without an issue. This is a design that's been, I know has been imported lots of times because we've used this example before. So if you're using that, this design for Canva, it should all import correctly.
Phil, do you want to unmute yourself and ask your question? Okay. Phil, if you want to unmute yourself, just let us know and we'll, or just, oh, there you go. Okay, go ahead. We're not hearing you.
Yeah, sorry, Phil, we can't hear you.
Yeah. So either or the type, or if we start hearing you, we'll talk. Okay. So Jackie, we will go over your question here in just a second. Jorge asked, please, would you be able to show us also how to upload from Kindle images?
Yeah, so I can show how to do one from just as a straight PNG. We'll go over that here in a few minutes. And since you mentioned Kindle, we are working with Kindle. Actually was able to talk to their team quite a bit last week, and they are open to working on an integration there. So I'm not sure on timeframes yet, but we are working with them and hope to have integration with them in the future that would work at least somewhat similar to what our Canva integration does. So I'm really excited for that because that is a popular one. So.
Okay. This is a really good question that we have quite frequently. Gray asks, is there a solution if APOD doesn't have the same font as Canva?
Yes, so there's a couple different options there, and I even see a few other people, if you have an element that doesn't come over correctly or something like that, there's a few different options that you can do there. So one is if you're importing a design that has personalization, a lot of times you'll also have other text on that design that maybe isn't personalized, right? It's just text that is part of the design, or maybe you have lots of different elements in the design. You know, you've taken lots of pieces of clip art from Canva and you've put it all together to come up with this design. And maybe you're using some, other specific functionality inside of Canva to pull all that together. You can actually import your design and your personalization fields separately from Canva. So what you would do in that case, and I can walk through a more detailed example in a little bit if we need to, but essentially what you would do is take your personalized elements and put them onto a second page inside of Canva, and then you would import page 1 as a PNG, and then you can come back to AnywherePOD and import page 2 as layers. So you're just then importing the personalization pieces separately, kind of makes your design a little bit simpler that way. The other thing is you can add your own custom fonts to AnywherePOD. So if there's a specific font that you want to use that's not available in AnywherePOD, you can add that to your account. If you look over here in the left menu under My Artwork, there is a font section, and in there you can go in and add any of your own custom fonts that aren't available in AnywherePOD to make that easier for you.
Okay, we will, let's see here. Okay, we have a few people who have raised their hands. So, Jackie, do you want to unmute yourself?
Yes, I just did. Thank you. I'm sorry. I actually left it as a comment, but I figured, well, let me just raise my hand and make it quicker. So the one thing I noticed here, and I just want to get confirmation from you guys, where in the personalization, the top layer that you have right there is 2025, and then Emily is under that. Mm-hmm. And I had done that with one of my designs, and when the customer entered in their year and name, they were in the wrong spot. So I kind of said, let me flip the layers around, and I put the name on the top layer, and then I think it was the image and then the year, however I did it. And that worked.
Yep.
So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, because I'm seeing it here where it's not like that. You've got 2025 above Emily, and I just wanted to make sure I was right, or I could be totally wrong.
Nope, you got it. I just hadn't gotten
cool.
to that part yet. So
Sorry.
what Jackie's referring, no, you're good. You're good. Absolutely. What Jackie's referring to here is if we do personalization on our year, where the customer can enter the year and the customer is able to enter a name, obviously here. When that comes in, it is going to fill what the customer enters in the same order as what the layers are listed over here. So we want this to be in the same order as the design, so that when the customer enters, Chris 2024, that it puts Chris in the first field and 2024 in the second field, is what Jackie was referring to there. So you want to make sure that if you have multiple layers of personalization, you just kind of have them in that same layout there.
Thanks, Chris.
Yep. No, thank you.
Okay. Phil, do you want to unmute yourself? Let's see if we can hear you this time.
He said he thought he had it fixed.
Okay, we're not hearing anything from you. Okay, we'll try again, or just write in the chat. Jake, do you want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, am I on? Did I do that properly?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Great. Yeah. So my question is, again, coming from a importing a PNG rather than Canva, is there any way, and maybe it applies to the Canva as well, is there any way to specify in those layers a size? In other words, to enter dimensions? I've been trying to do something like that so that across designs I can have the same size image or even a layer. Is there any way to do that?
Yeah, so couple things on the sizing. Some of these may address specifically your question, but I just want to go over kind of sizing in general since you brought that up. One is on text fields here. The kind of initial setting is going to be to have all of your font sizes set to dynamic. What that means is that the text will always stay inside of the size of the box that I set here. So you can see we already have this kind of blue box stretched out where it's filling the majority of the width of the ornament. So if the customer types in a really long name, it'll automatically resize that text down so that it fits inside of that. And it will do that resize based on width and height. So you can see as we make that adjustment, it'll change the actual size of that text field for us. You can set that to preset if you want to. That's up to you. Sometimes you want a preset size with a limited number of characters so that your font size exactly matches other elements in your design. You can do that here as well. Overall, if you're adding multiple different designs or maybe multiple different variations, we'll get into showing how to do variations in a little bit on how you can add multiple design variations very easily onto one listing. But if you're doing that and you want to make sure that you have the same layout and maybe you're just changing a graphic, but you need everything to stay the same size, one of the things you'll notice, let me refresh this page here so I get my initial create artwork screen here. You'll see there's an option here for add from library. If I select that option, I can load any design that I already have in my library, and it'll preload that design for this new product for me. And then I can swap out any elements that are different. So I think, Jake, what you're referring to is if you have another PNG that you just want to change, you can just upload your second PNG right on that existing layer, and it will keep that same position and everything of the original one and make sure that the sizing stays the same between them.
That sounds good. I guess I was going at a slightly different angle in, I'm also creating in Printful and Printify separately. And when I want to use APOD, I've already got dimensions inside in my head. So an overall dimension like 5 by 7, or if it's just text, for example, and I want to stick it on a shirt, and I know what size I want, it's often hard to figure out in APOD, how is this going to look? And so to be able to enter specific number dimensions of something by something in inches, I'm having trouble doing in APOD.
Gotcha. So your two options there, it won't show it to you in inches, but it will over here. You can make individual like size adjustments here.
There we go.
The other thing that you could do is if you're designing at the full size template, so say I think maybe you mentioned Photoshop previously. So if you're designing in 900 by 900, if you size that to your 5x7 or whatever dimension you want in that overall graphic, and then that's the PNG that you upload, then it would be in the position that you're referring to there as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Cool. Yep. No problem.
Okay, so guys, just a quick note. We have so many great questions coming in. If we're not addressing them right now, it's because I am taking them in notes, and we're going to come back around to them so we can kind of get through this part. But we love the questions. So if you're not seeing it being addressed, know that I have it all ready to go so we can address all the questions. So one question we did have, is there an undo button in APOD? So somebody said, I made a change to my font size and then wanted to undo it, but didn't see that anywhere. I didn't realize how often I undo things. Haha.
Not yet, but that will be coming. That is something that you're not the first one to ask that, but that will be coming. We do have plans to add options for undo. Absolutely.
Okay. Sounds good. Perfect. So Chris, let's continue on.
All right, cool. All right, let's, so we have our initial design created. We imported from Canva. I went ahead and marked my 2 layers as personalized. So I've got Emily here and my date here, both marked as personalized. And that's really all I needed to do. So I selected my product, I imported from Canva, checked the 2 boxes that I need marked as personalized. And now I can come down here to the bottom and go to create product. Now this is going to create our initial kind of placeholder artwork for us. That's going to have our name and dates filled in that artwork for us. And then it's going to generate any of the mockups automatically that are available from our print supplier for us. So you still have access to all of the same mockups that you would as if you were building in Printify originally. So if I come in here to select mockups, you'll see all the mockups here are available from Printify for us as well, all available in here. So on mockups, one of the really cool things, this is probably one of the biggest time-saving features of AnywherePOD, is being able to utilize your own custom mockups and not have to go create them in another platform and download them and re-upload them. So with AnywherePOD, what you're able to do is create what we call a mockup template, which is basically just creating the mockup once in AnywherePOD. And then in the future, anytime you create that product, you're just going to automatically have that mockup available. And when I say automatically, I mean literally you create the product and the mockup just gets created right along with it in the future with the right artwork, with the right colors. Say if you're doing apparel, it'll select all the right colors, just everything already set up for you on that mockup. So I wanted to walk through how to set one of those up. It's pretty simple and is a very similar process to when you create mockups in Canva or another application. So to do that, we're going to use right here where it says add new mockup template. This is the feature that we're going to use to get this mockup template set up for us. So I'm going to click on add new template. And then here we have the option to upload our blank mockup files. Now, if you have multiple mockups that you want to add, most of the time, you're going to want to create a new mockup template for each one. The only time I would really upload multiple blank mockup images here is if I have like a flat lay apparel design where the t-shirt is the exact same in every mockup, but it's just the color that changes and my artwork is positioned the same between each one. But that's, most of the time, you're only going to want to do kind of one mockup image here at a time. So I'm going to go to upload blank here, and let me grab my ornament mockup here. Okay, open. Okay, so I have my ornament mockup here. The other thing, besides just doing one image at a time, the other thing that's important, especially on specific products, is to select the correct variations over here on the right. Now, in this case, this is just an ornament. It doesn't have variations to it. It's just a round ornament is the only option. But if I'm doing something like apparel, it's very important that I select the color that matches the color in my mockup, for example. Same with like sizes on blankets. If I'm doing blankets, I'd want to make sure I select the same size, and that ensures that that mockup only gets generated when that color or size is created on future products. So in this case, as I said, I just have the one variant. There's not a lot of variants here, so we can just go to save and continue down here at the bottom. And you'll see here it went ahead and added my artwork to my mockup file here, and I can move that around and place it on my image here how I want to. If I had a product with multiple different artwork options, you can just click on it up here at the top to be able to add that to your artwork. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do here on this particular one is I want to make my ornament a little bit larger. This mockup that I purchased, I like it. I think it's pretty good, but I want to make it much larger than what it is. So you can either make that change before you upload that mockup image, or over here on the right, you will see it's listed here under layers. I can unlock that kind of blank mockup image, and I can drag it around here and be able to resize that to make that image larger. So we're going to make that bigger here, about like so. And now I just need to position my artwork. So on this particular product template, the artwork template for this has the artwork extending right out to the edge. So to get this so it's consistent, I just need to resize my artwork so it's going to fill that entire space here. The important thing here is when we're building these mockup templates is that we're matching what the print provider mockups look like. That's really kind of your goal when you do these. So in this case, I just needed, on the ornaments, it's pretty easy. It's just a matter of resizing this out to the edge, especially for this particular print provider with how their templates are set up. So once we have that resized and set, all we need to do is click on Save Custom Mockup here at the bottom. And that is going to go ahead. First, it's going to go ahead and create that template for us. So now in the future, anytime I create this Swift POD ornament, that mockup is going to automatically come along with it, which you'll see here in a minute when we add some variations to this listing. You'll see that it's just going to automatically generate that for me. So that's going to be set up, and then it's also going to go ahead and generate it for this particular product here for me as well. So now that is here on this product. So I literally created this mockup once, and it's a set it and forget it type of thing. Create it once, it's now on my account. Anytime I create this Swift POD ornament in the future, this mockup is just going to automatically be listed in my list of available mockups to select for my product. So it is a huge, huge time saver when it comes to using your own custom mockups.
Yeah, and this is really cool, guys, because if you do something like, if you do apparel, you can apply this mockup to work for like the different colors and it will work. So there's a lot of flexibility here to make this so that it truly is automated. And, you know, if you're like a gift giving store, you could set this up for mockups. You can set this up for the journals. You can set this up for the plaques, whatever. And it literally, you do this once and it's all taken care of. So yeah, very, very big time saver. Okay, we have a few questions coming in. So the first one is, could you please tell me how to delete my custom mockups from the system?
Yes, so what you would do is over here, now that I had that mockup template created, if I went, I didn't quite size that on there right or anything like that. If I come over here to mockup templates, this is where you can kind of manage your mockup templates. So I can come in here and edit this template and be able to move my design around and change that if I need to. I can also delete that template from here so it doesn't get generated anymore on future listings. If you're doing something like every once in a while, you'll have a set of products that you want to create. Maybe it's going into Christmas season and you want, more Christmassy themed mock-ups going into the Christmas season, but you're only going to use those mock-ups for a short period of time. You can also just turn off this mock-up from being generated if you don't want to just completely delete it. If you toggle off this auto generate option, then it just won't generate. And if you want to turn it on again in the future, you can come back in and turn it on. That way you don't have to recreate it again in the future. So you have that option there as well.
Yep. Also, one thing I want to mention too is, because I just did this like 2 days ago, was that I had created a design with our AI effects tool. And on the mockup, the design ended up being a little bit like off the product. So this is where I came back and was able to edit the template. So then in the future, that design did better. So, which just happens, like, right? Not everything always is going to be perfect. But that's one thing I really love about AnywherePOD is we have a lot of flexibility built in each step of the way to make those adjustments. Like, oh, okay, that, maybe this mockup template was working perfectly, or it was the first time I set it up. I can just come back into here and I can adjust that design, and now I'm good to go, right? I didn't have to like restart the whole process. I can just make those adjustments. You can do that with the listings here too. Like if you want to, we're going to show you how to add variations here in a second. Let's say you have a listing that you created, you don't have any variations, but it starts selling. So you're like, hey, I want to add some more options to it. You can just come back in and do this. You don't need to restart or pull a bunch of tools together to make this happen. You can just come right back here, add that variation in a couple seconds, and you're off. Same thing with orders. We'll show that to you closer at the end. That was a question we had was, can we change something before we go to production? And the answer is yes. So that's another thing that I love, because one of the problems that I would have in the past was if somebody were to like message me and be like, hey, this is a memorial gift for so-and-so on my wedding day. Can you make this extra special message on it? Or can you change it to say this exact name? Well, then I'd have to like cancel the order and like redo the artwork and do like a manual order. And it was just like, it literally would take like 20 minutes to put that all into place. With AnywherePOD, none of that happened. It's like, oh, I just go to the order, make the adjustment, and off it goes. So it's really cool. Okay. Phil asked, where's the best place to get mock-up images? I personally love Etsy. I think they have the best images. There are stores that are just around mock-ups. So I would recommend just typing in whatever your product category is and then mock-ups, and then find ones that you like there. Yep. Okay. Let's see here. So Jody asked, we've jumped straight into super detail on this call. If I want a better overview of APOD and capabilities, is there a good place to start? So Jody, this really is our 101 class. And right now, what we've just showed you is just how to import with Canva and then how to create that mockup template. So these are basic things that you're going to have to do with print on demand. And we just showed you 2 simple ways to accomplish that with a few clicks of a button. So I would recommend, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed right now, is to stick with us these 3 days and then watch the replays, and you'll actually see how this comes together. It's actually very, very simple. We're going to show you a couple other things, but it really is just the basics of print on demand. So you can do it. And yeah, just trust the process. You're going to see that this is actually like the basics. You just watch the replay.
I will say we also here in our training videos that are linked over on the left here, we do have not only lots of other past live streams that we've done that are a little bit longer form, but on most features we also have a shorter kind of how-to video as well. That's usually in the 5 to 10 minute range. So if you're on creating your mock-up templates and wondering a specific question or anything like that, we do have videos on most of that. And on a lot of them, they are also linked directly inside of AnywherePOD as well, next to that feature. So it's easy to find. So for example, on the mockup templates that we just did, if you come in here to create a mockup template, you'll see the how-to video listed right here, right above. If I click on that,
Hey guys, Chris
playing right inside of here and kind of walk through that whole process, a few different examples, and get into a little bit more detail as well. So those are kind of throughout the system to help you as well.
Okay, so Rhonda asks, sometimes my artwork is not the same on the next mockup. It is because I didn't size or place it right.
Yes,
or is it because I didn't size or place it right?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So, we have people ask, how is it that it, works the same? No matter the size of the artwork that you upload or where you position it, it's going to always be the same on the mockup every time. And that's because when you are positioning that mockup, you're getting the full size print area. So if I look at here, this entire kind of square box here is representative of 900 by 900 pixels. So think of this as your kind of artboard in Canva, right? Where you set it to 900 by 900. And now this is the full size print area that is available for this product. So if I come over and look at the mockup template that I just created for this, that same 900 by 900 square area is the same as this blue box right here. I'm placing that full size print area onto my product. So if you're doing apparel, whether you're doing full size chest or just left chest or, a minimalist print or anything like that, it's still going to show up on the mockup correctly in the correct spot every time because it's positioning that full size print area when you create that template.
Okay, Jennifer asked, can we download our mockup?
Yes, so any of the mockups that are here, so you'll see we have them separated here at the top between your custom mockups and the vendor mockups. Any of these inside of here, you can right click and just click on save image as, and it'll save it to your computer, and you can use it or do anything you need to with it from there.
Okay. Pamela asked, do you then have to lock the mockup after you enlarge it?
You don't have to. Really, we just lock that mockup initially because most of the time you don't need to move it around. So we don't want you to accidentally, click on it and end up moving it. So.
Okay. Lenore asked, how did you get the mockup setup page?
So to do the mockup template, we started right here and clicked right here where it says add new mockup template. From there, you'll upload your blank mockup, usually one at a time. So you're going to want a new mockup template for each one of your mockups most of the time. But this is where you'll start. So you'll create your product first, and then you create any of your mockup templates associated with that.
Okay, Phil, thank you for the comment. He said, APOD is like 1995 when the www came alive. This is the new shift in POD, and others will have a hard time catching up to what Chris and Anna have produced. Game changer. Yeah, that's how I feel too, guys. That's why I'm like the cheerleader. I'm like, guys, like, why would you go through all the effort of like creating a mock-up when we set up one template and then it's done for you? Like, how cool is that?
Yep.
Okay, Diana says there should have been 10 mockups that pulled over from Printify. I only have the last one or the last context 4 that came into APOD.
Yes, so since Printify has made a few updates to how and when their mockups get generated, sometimes initially you won't get all of the initial mockups that are available from Printify. If that happens and you want all of the mockups, if you come over here to your dashboard, right here next to Printify, there's a little gear icon here. If you click on that, you'll see instructions down here. This is another one of those. It's going to sound more complicated than it is. It takes like 2 seconds to do. We have a video we can send you if you run into any issues. Reach out to our support. But you're just going to create an API sales channel inside of your Printify account. And then here under products create store, you'll set that to your API sales channel that you just created. So the nice thing with that is it, one, gives you all of the mockups that are available for that product. And two, when you create a product in AnywherePOD, we do create a product in your Printify account, but the only thing that product is used for is to get the mockups. So it's not needed for anything else. So it can just kind of be ignored. So it also kind of puts those products into their own list. So if you're still using Printify for anything, it keeps your Printify store a little bit cleaner that way too. So
yeah, but honestly, you're probably not going to have much use for mockups from Printify. I highly recommend buying mockups or somehow creating your own. Usually, with the exception of about Shine On, the mockups are not going to be sufficient for getting you sales. They will be a quick way to have people just scroll right past you. So I would really recommend, while that tool is really nifty and Chris thinks of everything, I do really recommend that you get your mockups from Etsy. Like, this is where we got this from, and it will really elevate your store and be more eye-catching. So just a thought there. So Nichelle asks, can you show how to give the option of a darker ornament with the same image with white letters? So I don't know if you just maybe want to explain that verbally.
yeah, so I think you're referring to like having the, like, instead of the white ornament, being able to have like a full color background ornament, and then being able to change that, which I think that'll become clear here as well once we get into how to do variations. You can do that. When you do get into a full color background like that, on ornaments, you will want to use like a mask or an overlay file on top of the ornament so that it's, makes your final ornament kind of round shaped, which we do have examples of that specifically on, I think we did blankets. I think there was one other one in that video that I showed a few minutes ago on mockups. So you can kind of watch that to learn a bit more about the kind of masking options that you have there.
Okay, Nichelle, do you want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, I understand what Chris was saying. I was just referring to to give the options of more than one specific item. We're saying ornaments because you use the example of ornaments for like an image, like going like on a dark gray heather shirt. You want the same image with a, because you can't use black if you use it on a white shirt. To
Sure.
give them that option to change it, will they have that option, or is there a way to do that?
Yes, absolutely. So with apparel, what you would do, like if you're doing light artwork on dark shirts and vice versa, what you would do is create your first product like normal using one set of colors. So select your dark color shirts and upload your light artwork. And then what you would do is come here to where it says add variants right here, select the same product and just do the opposite set of colors. So then do your light shirts with the dark artwork, and it'll add it all there for you. We will walk through here in just a second using this add variants functionality because it is, next to personalization, probably our second most popular feature because it allows you to do so much stuff with, if you're doing group listings, if you're doing artwork variations, like really adds a lot of options that you can add to your Etsy listing, and simplifies that whole process. So we'll walk through that here in a second. We'll add another option for this ornament with another animal on here so you guys can kind of see how that works.
Okay, there's a few other ones, and then we'll get to that. So Sharice asked, I'm new to all this and wondering, can I just make my own mockups with AI? So yes, you could, but so if you're an Etsy seller, the problem is Etsy has made it very clear that they want an exact representation of the product presented to the customer on the main image. So what we have found is AI just really isn't there yet. They tend to take the image of the product and it's kind of like a stylized AI version of it. It kind of produces something where you're just like, that's AI. Like you can just see it across each image. The closest thing that we've seen to it actually being accurate is using Nano Banana. It does a pretty decent job, but you need to have that knowledge going in that it really needs to look 100% exactly like what the customer is going to get. If you're not confident in that, then I would really recommend buying your mockup from Etsy. If you're a Shopify user, obviously it is your shop, so you have control over that. So if you feel like that is a good enough representation for your customer, then you can use that in your Shopify store. But Etsy, you want to be very aware of their rules and make sure that you're following them.
Especially on that first primary image is where they're really particular about it. Like Anna said, Nano Banana is getting, like, what you can do with Nano Banana is bananas. Like it really is. So it's getting, if it's not there, it's very close to at least being able to do that for some of your supporting images for sure.
Okay, Colleen asks, how do you know what size to use in Canva to have it the same in APOD? In Printify, they tell you what size you need.
Yes, so we do as well, and actually go a step further than that. So when you come in here to design, you'll see here the size is listed right here at the top of the template. So in this case, it's 900 by 900. If I'm ready to create a new design for this, all I need to do is click on Create New Design, and it'll open up a blank Canva template for me at that 900 by 900 pixels. This also works for the large format products. So if you've ever tried to design blankets in Canva, you guys will know the struggle where the dimensions are too big for Canva and you have to divide by 2 or 3. And then when you export it, you have to make sure you export it, correct all of that rigmarole. You don't have to do anymore with AnywherePOD. You click on Create New Design. It's going to open up in the right size inside of Canva. And then when you import that design, we're going to import it once again at the right size. So we take care of all that math behind the scenes as well. So that's going to be the easiest way to determine your dimensions that you need to design in.
Awesome. Yeah, did you also, guys, we have an upsizer tool as well. So if the image is low resolution, there's just a click of a button right there and you'll see it and it will upsize, which is pretty cool. I don't know. I think you did not say that, right?
I have not mentioned that yet. Nope. You're good.
Okay, yeah, we do. It's one of those things that like you don't realize it's awesome until you like see that image is low resolution and you're like, but we just have a button right next to it and you'll see like, okay, here's low resolution. APOD will tell you, you just click the button and it will upscale and say, okay, it's 100% now. So if you have that problem, we solve that pretty quickly.
We have a couple hands up here. Phil, I don't know if you still have your hand up or if your audio is working. You can chime in there if you want. Or maybe, okay. Maria?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So when I uploaded my design from Canva, the arch got distorted. It just like bundled all the letters and like stuck them all together. What do I do? Why would that? And I mean, I know that all that I have to do is just redo it, but I was just wondering why.
Yes. So Canva right now does not, when you have arc text, does not basically pass that information over to us where we can see the arc settings on it. It shouldn't have narrowed down so much so they were all smushed together. It should have still been wider, but you can just turn on the arc setting back on in AnywherePOD and be able to get that arc back. If it is personalized text. If it's not personalized text, that's another one of those cases where sometimes it's easier to import your kind of non-personalized elements as a PNG and then your personalization on a separate page separately. And then it all comes through a little bit easier that way sometimes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep, you bet. Patricia?
Hi, good morning. I have a question about, okay, so I do a lot of work with journals and I have custom colors that I set up the variants within Etsy. So the way I understand it going forward, if I set up a product in APOD, I would create those custom colors as variants within APOD. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yes, you can create those in AnywherePOD. You'll see here in a second when we add the variation for this ornament, it's going to be a similar process, except in your case, all you would need to do is change the background color and then, give the color a name, and it's just going to all be there for you. So when the customer then is able to select from a drop down what color they want, and everything's automatically SKU linked for you out of the gate. If you do your own custom mockups, all those get generated with your colors and everything as well then too.
Okay, great. And one other quick question about integration. So I'm assuming there would not be a problem with all of my existing products being as they are going forward, and then just adding a new product mix where I now have some journals that are created new with APOD. I'm not going to have any integration issues, I would assume. Is that correct?
Correct. Not at all. That won't be an issue. Won't be an issue at all. If there are any that you want to move over to AnywherePOD, maybe you're doing personalization on them or something, you can, but it's by no means required. You can have multiple going on at a time. Also, with if you're doing the same set of colors on your journals and it's just the artwork that's changing between them, that would also be another great product that you would be able to list using our rapid lister that we'll be talking about in another session, where you could, automatically create those in bulk that way. And it takes care of swapping out the artwork and everything for you too. So that would be a really fast way for you to be able to create new products, even with those kind of multiple variations like that.
Yeah, they're actually all personalized, and usually I get a lot of customers that want to change them around their keepsake and memorial journals. So yeah, so that's another thing I'll be paying attention to, is how easily, when I get an order, am I going to be able to change them according to what the customer wants?
Absolutely. Yes. We give you lots of flexibility on orders. We'll be covering that in a few minutes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, guys, we have so many questions. I love it. I want to continue on. I have like all your questions in one spot. So we're going to come back to anything. Don't feel like you're getting skipped over. We will literally go through every single question with your circumstance, but I want to make sure we get through the learning part so everybody knows what is possible here. So let's continue on with.
Do you have quickly, Anna, do you have handy the agenda for the next 2 days too, so people kind of know what's coming up? Because there are, as you guys can see, there's a lot of different things that you can do with AnywherePOD. So we are going to get into more detail on some of the more powerful tools. Not that what we've showed you so far isn't powerful. Like, I think what we've showed so far is a game changer in a lot of respects. But the next 2 days, we're going to be kind of leveling up even more and getting into some of the other really cool things you can do with not only personalization, but our rapid list tool. So there's a lot of great things that we're going to be showing with personalization, being able to do images in different shapes, file uploads, live previews, especially on Etsy. This is like the biggest game changer that I think has come to Etsy in the last decade that I've been working with Etsy. So really excited for that one too. And then also our rapid list tool that works with our AI tools, so that in literally just a couple of clicks, you're able to have your mockups all generated, your SEO all complete, your Etsy attributes all complete, mockups done for 20 plus listings at a time, is a really big time saver too. So if we're not covering the specific thing today, like I said, I just wanted to make sure you guys knew the next couple of days we're going to be getting into some more of those details as well. So
yeah. So tomorrow is going to be our personalization day, where we cover all of our personalization options. And then on Wednesday is going to be workflow. And that's where we're going to get into how to use our rapid lister. So you can create 2 to 20 designs in, potentially, like, it could actually be like 60 seconds or less. It's very fast. And we will cover all of this if we didn't cover it today. So. Okay, so let's continue on to variants.
Yes. So now that we have kind of our initial product here, of course, you make any changes here to your title, description, or tags. We'll be covering how you can generate all of that with your own custom research data in another session using our AI tool. Another one of those game-changing features. It's really ups the game in how fast you can list things. In this case, we're going to put in our personalization instructions. Since I'm only doing text, I'm not going to enable live previews for this particular product. You could, if you did it only for text, I would recommend it being an optional type of thing. But usually live previews is where we recommend if you're asking for a file upload or doing AI effects or anything like that. So in this case, I'm just going to say enter the name and date you would like on your ornament. And then I always like to give example that kind of matches my kind of main design. So I'll say example, and then I'll just put Emily 2025. So that sets up that personalization instruction there. Now for variations, so we have our first ornament here with a deer. So if we wanted to add another option to this product, whether it is different background colors, like someone was talking about a minute ago with journals, if we're doing maybe something that's kid themed and we want a pink variation and a blue variation, or in this case, we have the deer, we're going to add a second option for a giraffe. We can do any of those types of artwork variations. We can also do product variations here. So this is how you can set up group listings. If, for example, you want a t-shirt and a sweatshirt and a hoodie all on one product, you have basically complete flexibility over the variations inside of Etsy. So you can create all your variations here in AnywherePOD, create them all in bulk, and then everything is automatically SKU linked. So you're not having to track down artwork again when an order comes in or anything like that. Everything is just automatically linked for you out of the gate without having to do any additional extra steps. So in this case, we're going to do a second animal. So we're going to change one of our variation fields here. So in this case, again, since this is an ornament with just one variation, it doesn't really matter which one. But I'm just going to rename this. We could call it like animal or design or whatever we want here. This is going to be the label that's above my drop-down field in Etsy. And then here, in this case, this is going to be our deer. So we'll just put deer here. And I'll hit save on that before now we add our second option. So if I go to add variants, I'm going to be taken back to our product catalog here. And I can select any product in the catalog. So I can come up here to the product catalog and be able to add anything that I want to this. In this case, we're going to be doing another ornament. So I'm just going to come over here to my ornaments category again. And I'm going to go back to my Swift POD product here. And we'll go to start designing. Now I could either go to upload artwork and just upload a PNG. I could select add from library and load the last design that we just did, and then switch out the animal. Or in this case, since I have this design in Canva, I can just go to add from Canva and select page 2 and click on import layers. And again, this is going to import all the layers for me, how I have it set up inside of Canva. You'll see on this particular one, just in the way I have it built in Canva, the 2025 is part of the image. Since I had it personalized on the first design, I would not want to do that. I want that to be a text field here as well. That's just how the Canva template happens to be set up currently. So I'm going to mark Emily here as personalized. And now when I click on update product, instead of adding an entirely new product to the system, it is going to add that variation as another variant down here in my variants field. So in this case, I just want to rename this so they can select the giraffe as well. So here I will say giraffe, and we'll hit save on that. So now the customer is going to be able to select, do they want the deer or the giraffe? So you're essentially adding a layer of personalization directly to the variants field inside of Etsy, so that while the customer's checking out, they're able to select from the drop down right there inside of Etsy, and be able to make that selection before they purchase. Then when the order comes in, it is going to automatically select the correct artwork based on whether they selected deer or giraffe, and everything is going to select the right artwork and flow through correctly for you from there. If I'm doing something that has more variations, like say I'm working on apparel, where I've got lots of sizes and lots of colors that I need to be able to update, You can update all of those names in bulk. So right here, there is the update variant names option here. So here you can change, either add to front, add to end, or completely replace the entire field. So this is where I would come in to enter if it's a t-shirt or a hoodie or a sweatshirt. You can set all that information up here as well. We do have a video on our channel, on that YouTube channel I showed you guys earlier, that covers group listings. So make sure to check that out. If you are interested in group listings, it'll kind of walk through everything there for you too.
Hey, Chris, can you hear me now?
Hey, Phil, how we doing?
Yeah, I got new drivers.
Yeah, good deal.
Back in the driver's seat. Thank you, Windows. Quick question. Well, you already know because we've done it months ago. We can actually perform the same effort on multiple designs in one product using clip art, like I did with wall cards. Can you remember that?
Yes.
Is there going to be a demo on using clip art to achieve the same thing?
Yes, I don't remember what I have outlined for the next couple days, but if we don't, I can take a look and make sure we get something with clip art in there for probably tomorrow. But we can certainly cover that. So what Phil's referring to is you have the option to set up clip art in your account, which is essentially a collection of images that the customer can select from. So that can come in handy. Traditionally, that was used for like the chibi style artwork, if people want different hair color and skin and shirt and all that type of stuff, which can still be used for that, although AI is a bit better way to go for those types of designs now. But there's still lots of different options for doing image collections that works really well, different background colors and things like that. So we can cover some of that tomorrow.
Yep. Okay. One question we had was, does that show up in a live preview before the customer orders? So we're going to be covering live previews tomorrow in our personalization workshop. But what I recommend is when you have a basic personalization just like this, where it's just like a name and date, I wouldn't actually use live previews in that situation, because most customers are totally fine with knowing that their name and the date are just going to be swapped out. They see the font, they see the date, they know what that looks like, they know what they can visualize what their name is going to look like. So this would not be a really great use case for live previews. In fact, it might be a bit distracting or add friction because customers know this is really simple. If you guys don't know what live previews are, first of all, we are the original creators of live previews. For those that had asked earlier, we were the first ones to do that. And what that allows the customer to do is to see their personalized artwork. I like to say ultra personalized because this is pretty basic and we wouldn't want to use that there. But ultra personalized artwork, they can create it and see it before they check out on Etsy and Shopify. So yeah, so that's when you're going to use it. We're going to go over that tomorrow. So yes, I think that covers it. Oh, the other thing I want to note too, guys, there's a couple questions, is that with your variants, you don't have to just do like another mock-up. Like if you're doing apparel, you can add t-shirts, sweatshirts, tank tops. Maybe you find a product could be complementary. So maybe it's like, I don't know, a blanket with a bag, something like that. Those are all options you can offer in the variant. That's up to you, but that's what I love about the variant field, is it gives you a lot of flexibility. Group listings are great here. Like if you're thinking about Halloween and Christmas, that's a huge time where people want to be all matchy. So here you would want to offer designs that are intended for a group, like the Christmas PJs that say like, I'm the grumpy elf, I'm the mama elf, right? You can list all of these here. So they have those options, because if somebody is looking for a group shirt or group pajamas and they had to search 20 different places just to see what their options were available to them, like they had to find all these links, they would never ever buy anything. So by giving them some different options, this allows people to stay on your listing longer to find what they want And you can also increase your order value there because you're giving people multiple options to buy multiple things.
Yep.
So
this also leads right into bundles as well, which you can do in Anywhere POD. So like Anna was talking with blankets. If you have blankets that are selling, a great add-on to that is to add on a matching pillow. With Anywhere POD, you can add that not only as a variant where they can add the pillow and the blanket to an order, but with the bundle, they in one click can purchase both the blanket and the pillow, making it a true like upsell opportunity for you. It adds it right to the variants. So they see, do you want the blanket? Do you want the pillow? Or do you want both of them? And can really kind of help to increase that average order value on your orders. This also works really well for Deco Plate that I mentioned at the beginning. They do like place settings. So like plates and bowls and silverware and placemats and all of that, being able to offer that as like a kid's place setting in one bundle is another really great opportunity there.
okay, so Pauline says, can a variant feature allow you to have one design but have choice of different necklace types?
Yes, you can do that as well. So if you're doing like the necklaces on, this would be more of a Shopify thing since most of those message card jewelry is not able to be on Etsy. You could have the same design on the message card and then the customer be able to select the actual like piece of jewelry that they want and have those as variations.
Okay, Maureen asked, so can we build in a discount for bundles?
Yes, so when you build your bundle, you can set whatever pricing you want on those bundles. So you can build in a bundle. You just want to make sure to account for any additional shipping charges when you are doing bundles.
Okay, so cool. Guys, I just want to pause right here because we're a little bit over an hour. We've covered everything that we want to cover today in the education portion. I have a list of all your questions from the very beginning, so we're going to start working through those. But before we do that, I just want to mention, come back for our workshop tomorrow. This is going to cover all things personalization. So we're going to go over our AI effects, artwork effects. So we can take a photo and we can turn it into like a watercolor photo or like chibi art or something like that. So we're going to show you how to do that. How to add clip art, how to do photo uploads and frames. So come tomorrow for personalization. We will cover all of those things. The next day, day 3, is going to be all about workflow. So we're going to be using our rapid lister tool. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back real quick. We're also going to cover live previews tomorrow as well. Okay, now day 3 is all going to be about rapid lister. It's going to be how to do our fastest workflow. It's our fastest and easiest workflow using AI. So we will be showing you that as well as being able to fill in all of your Etsy details. I was thinking we'd get through that today, but I think with all of our questions, we better save that for day 3. So literally you're going to be able to create your entire listing for Etsy and for Shopify with just a few clicks and the help of AI. So come for that. BJ says, this is an awesome boot camp. It puts together so many videos. Yeah, that's the goal of this, is like, we want you guys to see kind of an overview of like these first initial features, right? Like how to just bring in that first listing. You know, you got your title, tags, variants, a mock-up, right? That's like your basic first steps to getting your listing done. And then we want to be able to show you how to really like power charge it, like how to just make this super easy and fast, and also the personalization stuff. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. So, okay. So can you show us how to use our own designs tomorrow too? Let's see.
Okay. So we have people hands up too. We want to hit those first.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Yep.
So Emma asks, if we sign up for APOD, are we locked into a 12-month contract?
No, so there's 2 different plan options. So there is the monthly option on any of the 3 pricing tiers. So there's 3 tiers. a lot of the features you guys saw today, mock-up templates, the Canva integration, and a lot that you'll see over the next couple of days, kind of the more advanced features are just on our Pro Plus plan. That coupon code that we gave you, you can use that to get 1 month free on any of the 3 plans. Although, you know, if you're getting it for free anyway, you can downgrade at any time. So you're getting it for free. You might as well start at the higher plan, see if that is worth it for you, and you can always downgrade later on. And then also, if you're ready to go, if you're ready to lock in, if you use that same coupon code on the yearly plan for Pro Plus, that will give you an extra like $40 off that kind of already discounted yearly plan. So if you're ready to lock in, you can use that for the yearly plan as well, but you can do the monthly anytime too.
Okay, perfect. All right. Are you ready for the long list?
Yes, let's do it. I did see one.
Okay. One more question. How long is the coupon code good until? So it is good until Friday at midnight
Yes.
Eastern time. So guys, this is, you will not regret this. You couldn't pay somebody to do all the things that AnywherePOD does. And you shouldn't do it to yourself. Like, why would you put all this burden on yourself to do all these things for like literally pennies a day? So there's no reason why you shouldn't jump in. Okay.
Yep.
Let's get into it. So this list, guys, you guys are awesome. So yeah, Dee just said, this is beyond amazing if it all works. Dee, it does all work. Just practice it a few times. That's why we do these workshops, so you guys can follow along. Because once you practice it a few times, you're going to be like, oh, this is easy. And all things considered, it's actually quite intuitive once you start going through this process. I think that's what surprises people, is because they have experience with these other standalone tools where it's like, okay, this tool does personalization, this tool does mockups. And so you still have like a lot of configuration that has to happen. Here, we really just streamline everything. Yeah, Annette says it does all work. I love AnywherePOD. So yes, like this is a very streamlined process. It makes things very simple. Just practice. I promise, if you just create a few listings, you know, join us, keep joining us for this workshop, look at the YouTube tutorials, you're going to get this and you're going to be so grateful, because it's going to be way easier than anything else you do. Okay, yeah, and Phil says, yeah, it does. It's a mile wide and a mile deep and simple. It's very, very simple. Kimberly says, from one Etsy seller to another, this is a remarkable product. There's a learning curve, but this workshop will get you going really well. Yeah. Yes. Guys, thank you. We're just like have like a little like love train comment here going on. I love this app. I need to get something listed, and learning all the steps has me a little stuck. Yeah, but you can do it. You can do it.
Oh, before we get into other questions, sorry, I know we have a couple people with their hands up here as well. But I did not mention yet. I want to make sure, in case anybody does need to leave, down here in the bottom right, you'll see a little help bubble here. This is a ChatGPT enabled help bot to start with. Okay, so this is actually trained on all of our past YouTube content and all of our like current and past support tickets. I was hesitant to start with a bot because I hate those bots that are, oh, okay, let me give you a link to 5 FAQ articles. And that is so annoying. This one, we get a lot of feedback that it is actually helpful. Now it's AI, so it's not always 100%. As soon as you send your first message, so if say I just ask a question here, as soon as I send this, I'm going to have a button down here at the bottom that's going to say contact support. So by all means, if you still need any help, we actually encourage our customers to reach out to contact support, because if you have a question, chances are someone else has that same question, and that's a shortcoming on our part, not on yours. We want to be able to help you as fast as possible and be able to plug that hole so that the next person doesn't have that question. So please feel free to reach out to our support anytime. We're quite literally more than happy to help. And in my opinion, we try to give the level of support that we always wish that we had in different systems we used throughout the years. And you never quite get there when it comes to, the software support is usually a little bit lacking. we take that above and beyond and try to give the best support that we can. So please feel free to reach out to our support anytime. We're here to help you.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I think we're ready to start questions now.
Good.
Okay, we're gonna start from the beginning.
Do we want to hit the hands up first? They're brave enough.
Yeah, go ahead with do
All
that. And yeah.
All right, Linda, can you unmute yourself and we'll help you out here.
Hi, I'm really glad that we started with ornaments because that's one of the things I'm looking to sell on the Shopify store.
Great.
And I didn't see an option for putting something on the back side of the ornament. These are double-sided ornaments, aren't they, from Printify?
So that depends on the ornament and on the print supplier. So some of the ornaments are single-sided and some of them are double-sided. So if I come here to their ornaments again, we'll see some of these are listed. Let me see if I can find one here that specifically says, usually in the name here, it'll say if it is, like here, two-sided print. Now, sometimes they do, this one is same design on front and back. So you only have to set up your design once and they're going to automatically put it on both sides. Other of them are going to be listed as like a double-sided print where you can select to put what image you want on the front and back. It's just going to kind of depend on the particular ornament and the particular supplier on what's available there.
But what I specifically wanted to know is, does APOD have capabilities to put a different design on the front versus what's on the back of the ornament?
Yes, depending on this. So like here, for example, this one that says double-sided, I believe if I come into this one here, you will see right here under print positions, you can select the front and back. So say we do front and back, we'll do circle. So this one would be my front side of the ornament. I'll just put in some placeholder text here. And then when I click on save and continue, now it's going to take me to the back side of the ornament and I can place whatever images I want on the back then.
Excellent. Okay, and they can both be personalized? Both
Yes.
sides? Okay.
Yes. The only limitation you have on the personalization side of it is when you have personalization in multiple print areas, you can't use the live previews, but they can both be personalized. Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Yep. You bet. And Charlene.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I couldn't find the chat feature.
Oh.
Where do you type in the chat?
So if you're on your Google Meet window, in the bottom, for me, it's kind of in the bottom over to the right, there's a little speech bubble that you can click on that'll open up the chat inside of Google Meet here.
This is Google Meet, like the red box, maybe? Oh, okay. No, that just shows my picture. That's not where I can type in. Anyhow, this is truly amazing. Now, as far as, because Wednesday I have to be somewhere else, I'm not going to be able to be here. Where do we find the videos? Do we get them in our email or do we come on?
So as soon as Google is done with the processing of this video, we'll get it added to a playlist inside of YouTube that we will send out to everybody. And then we'll just add each day onto that. So once you get the link in your email today, the replays will be posted to that same link for every other day. So you'll have all of the replays in one spot then.
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty.
One more thing I wanted to just mention to you guys, we don't do order fees. So when you join us, you're not going to have anything that you don't, any unexpected costs that are going to be built in after you join with a subscription.
Yes, the only thing we ever charge is the subscription fee, which is rather unique. If you look at anybody else in the personalization space, they are charging anywhere from 50 cents to $1 or $1.50 for every order. With AnywherePOD, you keep all of your profit. So we don't kind of have our hands in your pocket for any order fees at all.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's get to questions now.
All right.
All right, so okay. If I use Printify in my own website, can I use APOD in my website to post with Printify?
Yes, so I'm assuming they were probably referring to Shopify, and you can use AnywherePOD with any other providers that you're currently using. I mean, on the site at the same time. So what a lot of people will do is they will start using AnywherePOD for any of their new products, and then if there's any existing products that you have that are selling well that you want to move over to AnywherePOD to simplify the process for you, you can move those over as well.
Yep. Yeah, you can also address how many stores can you connect to as well.
Okay, so this depends a little bit per platform. So for Etsy right now, when you are on the Pro Plus plan, you can connect multiple Etsy stores, all the Etsy stores that you have under one subscription. Shopify is a per store subscription currently, though, unfortunately, and those two subscriptions are separate. So if you have Shopify and Etsy, they are separate subscriptions with how billing and everything has to work with Shopify. But for Etsy, there's not a limit on the number of Etsy stores that you can add.
Okay, when you say we should sign up for OpenAI, I'm a ChatGPT account holder. So how do I do I still need to do anything?
Yes, and we'll cover this more when we get into the kind of OpenAI features tomorrow. But when you click on Connect under OpenAI on your dashboard, you will see a list of instructions here on how to get connected. Main thing to note to address your question on ChatGPT and OpenAI are two separate things, right? So OpenAI owns ChatGPT. So it's the same models that you would be using in AnywherePOD or what's available in ChatGPT, but to connect to OpenAI from another like third-party system like AnywherePOD, you do need to kind of follow the list here and connect to OpenAI directly. That is then, you are then only charged per usage. So again, AnywherePOD is not charging for tokens. We're not charging for any of the additional AI functionality. You're just connecting directly to your OpenAI account and able to access everything then that way.
Okay, can you copy existing listings?
Yes, you can. So depending on what your goal here is of what you're doing, if you are doing A/B testing, most of the time, the easiest way to do A/B testing is to actually duplicate the listing inside of Etsy itself. Then all of your SKUs and everything stay the same, and everything links up and is good to go. So that's kind of the fastest way to get to A/B testing. If you're just wanting to create a similar product, say you're in AnywherePOD and you've created your first ornament and you're wanting to create another ornament that has similar pricing or similar options, you can duplicate that product in AnywherePOD and then just swap out your artwork after you do that. Or even faster than that, actually, most cases is to use our rapid lister that we'll be covering more in day after tomorrow, I believe. So.
Okay. I tried to join DecoPlate, but did not see a box to add the referral from AnywherePOD. So I think they rejected me. Any suggestions?
So it is a drop-down box now in DecoPlate. So when you go to fill out, there should be a little drop-down. It's a similar question of how did you hear about us or how are you submitting orders? Maybe they call it. You just want to make sure to select AnywherePOD from that drop-down, and you should be selected.
Okay. Do you have a video showing how to add the fonts? Never added a font, and how do you get a font in Canva?
Yes, so over here in fonts, there's the how-to video right here at the top. It's really just a matter of uploading your TTF or OTF file. So not all of those are like Canva doesn't just make all of their fonts available to everybody. Otherwise, we would load all of Canva fonts in AnywherePOD. We looked into that, but because of each font has different licensing and that sort of thing, Unfortunately, there's not like just a universal way to get all of those fonts added.
Can we make changes before sending to production?
Yes. So you have a lot of flexibility when an order comes in on what changes you can do on an order. Let me see if I just have an order here real quick that I can show you guys. Yeah, here's one that should work. So here is an order that's come into my AnywherePOD account. And you have a lot of different options here that you can do. First thing is you can come into edit personalization. If you just need to say edit the text, like maybe they sent me a message and said, hey, I want that to be Michael instead of Mike. You can come in and make quick, easy, simple changes like that. Under swap artwork here is where you can make kind of additional changes. So if the customer has asked for something, you'll find sometimes when you start offering personalization, customers then think, oh, well, I can change anything that I want to on that design. If you want to accommodate that so you don't lose the sale, you still can. So the two ways that you can do that, one is you have this upload new artwork option here. This is if they asked for a lot of changes and you decided you just were going to create that in Canva or Photoshop or Kiddle or whatever and kind of create that artwork, you can do that and then just upload that here. That's one option. The other thing you can do is come in here to edit artwork. And this is going to give you our full kind of artwork editor, but it's only editing for that one kind of single line item. So it's not affecting the overall product, and you can make any changes here and have complete control over what actually gets sent to production that way.
Okay. Will there be an option for customers to select their own fonts in the future?
Yes, actually, if you're watching really closely today, you might have seen a hint of that feature coming because we are still working on that, and it's in kind of testing phases right now. So you will be able to have the customer be able to select from a font collection or a color collection. So that is coming and is in the works.
Okay, can I put a picture, like a photo of my granddaughter on a product?
Yes, we will be covering photo uploads tomorrow. We have lots of different options that you can do with photo uploads, either removing the background, leaving the photo as is, adding it to a custom shape, applying photo effects, AI photo effects. So we'll be covering all of that in more detail tomorrow. But you can absolutely do photo upload, and we make it easier than anybody else because we have that live preview option. So if you're selling on Etsy, the customer is actually able to upload their photo to you, to the order, before they even place the order. They're able to see what it's going to look like. You're able to get that ahead of time. It just kind of smooths out that whole process. Whereas before, to do photos on Etsy, they had to send you an Etsy message, and it was a lot of back and forth and dealing with compressed images. And with our live previews now, you don't have to worry about or mess with that at all anymore.
Okay, is live preview where the customer will be able to choose font and font color?
Yes, once that is released, that is where they would be able to choose the font or font color. You could do some options with that now, especially, so like say the example that we did today with our ornament was a pretty simple example. We could have added variations for different font colors or anything like that, which will still be an option going forward. But if you want the new kind of font collections for the customer to be able to select, that will be either a part of the live preview, or you could ask the customer to enter it in the text field, and then you would be able to make sure that that gets set correctly when that order imports. So.
Okay, I've imported a design from Canva into a new listing, but the fonts were completely different in AnywherePOD. There are Canva fonts, or these are Canva fonts. Are they supposed to transfer over, or do I upload fonts? The font size and font itself were all different. Not sure how to troubleshoot. Thanks for the help.
Yes, so that kind of goes back to what we were mentioning before with not being able to have 100% the same list that is available in Canva. So if there is a font that you have set in Canva that's not in AnywherePOD, you will need to add that font to AnywherePOD to be able to use that. If it's part of a non-personalized text field, like you want the text to stay the same and the text is just part of the design, that's where you can get into kind of uploading that as a PNG. If you need help with that, you can reach out to our support and we can kind of help walk you through what that process would look like.
Okay, is it possible to upload illustrated fonts which are popular nowadays, for example, Christmas alphabet, to use on the design for personalization?
So it sounds like that would probably be something that would be more like the full font would be.
I think he's thinking of like font frames.
Okay,
You know what
so
I'm talking
my
about?
thought was they were probably thinking of like a monogram where it's like one letter that's like, you know what I mean? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
which in
but
that case, you do those as clip art, but it's not making like a complete word most of the time when you do that. I mean, you could, but it'd be a bit hard to set that up.
so what I'm thinking what I would do is that you can get frames with those styles on something like Creative Fabrica. You would bring those into Canva and then set up your design to make that word, and then you could actually do like a photo upload there or whatever the thing, like whatever you're trying to change there. That would be how I would approach it.
Yeah. And if there's ever anything that is like design specific, we do have people all the time. Like you can send in like a Canva template link, send that into support, and we can kind of take a look at what you're trying to create and just send you a little video back on how we would recommend setting that up.
Yep, definitely. Okay. I have a handmade store also. Can we use APOD without linking a product to a pot supplier? I'd love to be able to use the listing tools in my handmade shop.
Yes, you can. There's a few different options for that. Without getting into too many details, it's probably easiest if you just reach out to our support and we can kind of work with you on that. We do have a couple different options though. If either you're doing a handmade shop or if you're doing like using a supplier that's not in AnywherePOD, you can still use some of our tools on those types of listings, either by creating like a standalone product or using a product from the catalog and selecting to have it just not be fulfilled. And both of those are good ways. Just kind of depends on what features you're looking for. So reach out to our support and we can kind of continue that conversation there. It would probably be easiest.
At some point, could you please address how to bring over an ornament design from Canva that includes a full background picture and personalization? I couldn't click the name to set it as personalized, and the full pic in the background needed to be on a smart object.
Yes, I mean, we can cover that, but it sounds like you may have a few other unique things set up on your design. If you could send that as a template link over to support, then we can kind of see exactly what it is that you're trying to design and make sure that we're kind of guiding you in the right way there. That would probably be best.
If you sign up for the basic plan, will there be a credit if you upgrade to Pro?
So the coupon code only works, it's only going to automatically work, I should say, for the first plan you sign up for. So if you signed up for basic and now want to give the Pro Plus a try, reach out to our support and we can upgrade that for you without you being charged. If you go in and do it yourself, you can upgrade yourself, but it's going to want to charge you because it doesn't recognize that that coupon is still tied to your account. So reach out to us and we can get you upgraded that way.
Can you create images larger than the given design area?
You can, but there's not really a need or a reason to. That is the max kind of size and print area that the supplier is going to use when they actually print it. So by going larger, you're not necessarily gaining anything. It's not giving you like any like extra quality. Like that's going to be the best quality that they can do anyway. So you can, but I would not worry about trying to do that.
I have a blanket that I designed in Canva as landscape, but when I brought it over to APOD, it only shows it in portrait. Can we change the orientation of the artboard or only rotate the design? The live preview wasn't a great representation to the customer or for mockups.
You would need to rotate the design because the size that's listed for artwork in AnywherePOD is the size that's required by the supplier. So if you have like a live preview or a mock-up or something that you want to be different, I think you can rotate the image like in that so that it gives you what you want. But what is actually shown, the artwork that's actually uploaded has to be at what the supplier requires for that product.
Try to make one mock-up for main image with 3 different variations of artwork showing. Example, 1 main ornament, 2 smaller ornaments below. It shows the 3 different artwork image variations on each ornament, but then when I save it, it converts to all 3 ornaments showing the same variation, number 1. Is there a way to keep multiple artworks on one mock-up? Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, so right now the mock-up templates, you can show the artwork more than once, but it all needs to be the same artwork. So when you create a mock-up template, you can have more than one piece of artwork on there. Like say if you're doing color inside mugs and you want one mock-up that shows, all the different colored handles, but all the artwork does need to be the same. It can't do multiple artwork files, multiple different artwork images in one mock-up.
Do you have to have Canva Pro to connect?
That's a good question. I think you can connect when it's not on Canva Pro, but you're gonna, if you do try to use any Pro elements in Canva, it's not gonna then let you import that design into AnywherePOD. So if you accidentally added one, you're probably gonna run into some issues when you start using Pro elements in Canva. I think everybody I've seen has Canva Pro that connects to it. We don't run into that very much because if you're using Canva, like Canva's good, but like without Canva Pro, you really miss out on a lot.
What happens if we forget to mark the personalization box and don't notice it until an order comes through?
So throughout the process, there are several checks in AnywherePOD to make sure that an order doesn't sneak by that shouldn't. That's exactly one of them. So if you don't check the box in AnywherePOD to mark it as personalized, but you had turned on personalization inside of Etsy, AnywherePOD, when it imports that order, it's going to say, hey, they entered personalization for this item, even though it does not tell me that there's supposed to be personalization on this and they have it set to auto-fulfill. We're going to go ahead and put this order on hold. So we kind of have checks in place to make sure that order still goes on hold so you can get in and make sure everything's set up correctly before it goes through to production.
Yeah. So you'll be able to fix it on the order itself, like Chris showed you, and then you would just go back to that original listing and then click that personalization box, and then you should be good to go. So flexibility, that's what we love. Okay, Anna, oh, sorry. If I want different mockups for a design, is there an easy way to do that?
Yeah, so the mockup templates that I showed you earlier, you can add as many of those as you want on a product. So I just did one on this particular ornament, but I could add 5, 10, 20, whatever I wanted. I can add all of those as a mockup template and they'll just all generate for me and show up. You can also use this, I don't think I mentioned it earlier, you can also use the mockup templates to add like any infographics. So if you have a size chart or anything like that, you can add that as a mockup template and just not add the artwork over the top of it, and it'll just automatically add that mockup template onto the listing for you each time. So it's one less thing that you have to upload and do every time.
Okay. When I try to connect to OpenAI, it wants me to purchase a plan, but already have ChatGPT Pro version. What do I do?
So you don't need a plan. There's no like annual subscription or monthly subscription for OpenAI, but you do need to add in your payment information because it is going to charge you. The billing is going to be like per token. So you're going to want to add at least $5 credit to your OpenAI account, and then you can turn on your auto recharge settings so that there's no interruption, and it'll kind of walk you through the different settings that you can do there. Like you can set a limit of when to recharge and how much to recharge and that whole sort of thing. So if you follow these directions, you should be able to get completely set up with all the OpenAI features there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bugged when I had to set up another something, and I really put it off for like a very, very long time. And then when I finally did it, it ended up taking like 60 seconds. So it's definitely worth it. I know it's kind of a pain when especially when you're just starting and you're like, oh, I've got to get my Etsy or Shopify account set up. And then I have to, set up AnywherePOD, and then I have to connect with all these suppliers. It feels like one more thing. But honestly, when guys, we're going to be using AI tomorrow, and day 3, we're going to be using this with our rapid lister, and you're going to see why this is so incredibly valuable. So it's worth the 60 seconds and the one more account that you have to set up.
So Anna,
yeah. Oh, what?
I was just gonna say, Anna got to this step right here where it was asking to verify your organization. She calls me up. She's like, do we really have to verify our organization? I'm like, I know, I wish we didn't have to, but like OpenAI requires it, or you don't have access to some of the stuff. So unfortunately we do. She's like, oh, well, that's too bad, and was kind of complaining about it. I'm like, Anna, the amount of time that we've already spent talking about it, you could have had it done by now. Like, she's like, oh, really? Like
Yeah.
Just go do it.
Yeah, it really didn't take that long. So it's totally worth it. OpenAI is the parent company to ChatGPT. So look at it as like this is different services that OpenAI is offering, which is why your ChatGPT account doesn't work here. Okay, when are you adding Shine-On's new products? I think a lot of people are asking about the ornaments that they recently released.
Yes, those should be, if they're not live today, they should be live tomorrow.
Can you tell me if I can push my products to WooCommerce?
Not yet. WooCommerce is one that we've been asked about before that we are looking at doing an integration with, but right now we do not have a direct integration with WooCommerce, but that is something we plan to add in the future.
Does the personalization entered in the Etsy box have to match what will be printed exactly? Or does APOD detect what's the name versus date and put them in the right place with the correct formatting automatically?
So it's best if they have the match, especially when you're doing, so this kind of goes back to the example we did before where there's a name and a date. So it's best if it's in that same order. If for some reason it's not and it's incorrect, it's very easy to just kind of move those around when the order comes in. It really only takes a second or two and is not a big deal to make that change because, customers, while if you put in that example, like I showed, more often than not, I'm actually surprised at how often customers follow those directions and do it exactly like that. But if they don't, it's still very easy to make that change. So.
Where do we get the ARC text option on APOD or Canva?
Yeah, so when you are in your artwork here in AnywherePOD, if I go to a text field over here on the right, there's an option for show hide advanced options. And then here is the curved or arc text, and you can do it as an arc or as a circle. Circle is going to be very close to how Canvas work, where it's a complete radius, but that is where you will set those in AnywherePOD.
Okay, I was trying to do candles. It seems to only pull up the first mock-up picture from Printify. Since candles are curved, it's hard to create a good mock-up, especially if the label is a color. Do you have a tutorial on candles by any chance or suggestions?
Yes, so if you were wanting to do your own custom mockups, that is where you'd want to make sure to get a mockup that is where you can upload as a kind of mask overlay to be able to help with that kind of 3D curved effect. To get the rest of Printify and mockups as well, here on your dashboard, if you go over to the settings next to Printify, this is where we mentioned a little bit earlier, where you can set up your API sales channel inside of Printify. And then when you set your product create store to that API channel, then you'll get all of the mockups that are available from Printify and not just one or two of them.
Yeah, but I really, really, really highly recommend not using any mock-ups from your print provider, with the exception of Shine On, and being very specific about those. Okay. Most of the time, those are not great mock-ups for selling online. So not wanting to say like they have no use at all, but generally there's no successful seller that uses them in any case. So okay, guys, we are almost done. We're getting to the last of it. So I'm trying to figure out how to design personalized wrapping paper. Is it possible for someone to personalize their own name on the seamless pattern? And how would you set that up? Or would I have to generate the seamless personalized design and upload it just for them? Not sure if that makes sense.
Yes, so you can do patterns in AnywherePOD. We have patterns for text and we have patterns for images. So if you're wanting to do, this would be similar to like a repeating name blanket. So let me just run into a blanket here real quick because I have that handy. When you go to add your text field here, if I add my text field and say I put in Chris, then here under, again, that show hide advanced options, there is this option for create pattern. You can see it's going to create kind of a repeating pattern here, where I can then kind of adjust the spacing both vertically and horizontally, and then also add like an offset. So if I wanted like a brick type of layout, this on a blanket is actually, you'll see crazy numbers on a couple of listings on Etsy that do these repeating name blankets. That's just like a background color and a name with a couple font options. Like with this repeating name, it's so easy to set up. But this is similar to how you would do it for wrapping paper as well. You can just use that kind of text pattern.
Okay. In the live preview feature, I mistakenly selected comfort colors instead of Gildan. Now I'm unable to replace or remove the incorrect mockups. Could you please guide me on how to edit or delete these wrong live preview mockups so I can upload the correct Gildan 18,000 ones?
So it sounds like you were creating a live preview for Gildan and accidentally uploaded like a t-shirt. So if you create a new live preview with the correct images, it'll take you the newest live preview that you create, if that makes sense, based on every color. So if you just create a new one, the old one will just kind of go away and you won't need to worry about it.
Do you think he is meaning, though, sorry, you might have to correct us. I'm wondering if he means he mistakenly created a mock-up template for comfort colors instead of Gildan 18,000. Now I'm unable to replace or remove the incorrect mock-up.
Could be, but you can remove, like you can delete mock-up templates. So if we're missing the mark here, so we're not just kind of guessing, probably would be easiest if you send into support, you can send a link to the product or the mock-up template or whatever you have, and we can log into your account and take a look that way and be able to help you a little bit better probably.
Okay. Can I set up mock-up templates without doing it in a listing? Like just set up a bunch at once?
You can set up a bunch at once, but it does need to be from a product because we get the like actual size artwork. So you don't have to like upload a placeholder and then the placeholder is a different size and that type of stuff. That's why we do it on an actual product now. So we can actually pull in that full size artwork and it makes the process a lot easier. We used to have a version of the mock-up templates where you could do it outside of that, but it really was not as easy to get those created. So you do need to do it from a product, but you can just continue to add multiples. If you've got multiples to set up, you can just continue to hit that add mock-up template and just add them as needed.
Okay, AJ says, for a bundle of personalized products, does the personalized name have to be the same for each product?
It does not. So the way that bundles work is it's one variant that gets added to your store that the customer purchases. But when that order imports to AnywherePOD, we will actually separate it out into however many line items it is. So if you've got a bundle with like a full place setting and they're ordering 5 different products, when that order gets added to your AnywherePOD account, it'll show up as 5 separate line items. So you can adjust the artwork for each one individually, however you need to.
Can the mockup templates be labeled to help discern different brands for the same type of product, like 2 different brands of t-shirt?
So they will automatically be labeled based on the like product name. So like ceramic ornament, for example. Let me pull up that one here. So like here, this one that I did earlier. Actually, here, let me go to my list of templates. So you can see here it's showing the product name. But if I click into this, then here in the top left, I can rename that if I want to be whatever I want. But the kind of default naming is going to be whatever that the name of that initial product is.
Lisa asked, do you have any detailed videos for a total newbie that shows step-by-step the process from uploading your first design to listing on Etsy?
So we covered probably the first like 90% of that today, I would say, of creating your first product. The only thing we really didn't get into was the kind of SEO side of things and getting your title tags and descriptions, which we will definitely be covering. That'll probably be mostly covered day after tomorrow. We'll cover that in detail. But other than that, what you saw was the majority of the product creation process. It was just kind of that last tweak of the SEO that we didn't do.
Yeah. So I think it can seem a little bit overwhelming at first because today we are showcasing how you set up certain things. So the setup's always the hardest, right? It's like nobody wants to go through setting up their templates and all this. They just want it to work right from the beginning. And so today you saw where we pulled in that design from Canva, and then we showed you how to set up that mock-up template. And then really, if you just filled in your title, descriptions, and if your Etsy seller tags, that would have been your complete listing. Once you have your template set up for your mock-up, really you're looking at that listing taking you about 2 minutes to create. So it's hard because we have, we're showing you, plus we get lots of questions. If you didn't have personalization, it would be even faster because you don't have to click a couple buttons. But other than that, yeah, today was the process, and the goal was really to show you that, but also show you like how to set up that template. So then, maybe you do it once or twice, and now you never set up a template again. Maybe you forget even how to create a template, which is what we want, because we want it to just automatically happen for you. So hopefully that gives you some like context as to what we're trying to do here. And then the next days we go into some other like our personalization tools, and then we'll show you how to use our rapid lister and do our turbocharged, supercharged workflow on Wednesday. So Lisa, we do have lots of tutorials though. If you're like, okay, I need to use Canva, I know I need to set up my mockup template. We do have YouTube tutorials kind of set up around those features, so you can click on those and get refreshed. And we do have the replay of this, so you can go through it. I'm even thinking maybe like I'll create like a Word doc. I'll pull the transcript, and then that way, like with all these questions, it could be easier to find the questions too for this. So
yeah, and if you get stuck on any piece of it at all, please feel free to reach out to our support. We'll be more than happy to help.
Yeah. Can you use different fonts in the pattern feature?
So in when you create a pattern, each pattern can only have one font. What you can do is create more than one pattern, or you can even add multiple text fields and have them all linked together. So I can add 4 or 5 different text fields and link them all to one text field. And then the text will be the same between them, but I can have different styling between all of them if I want to. So that would be how you would set it up. If you're wanting like different font or different colors, you would just add multiple fields or multiple patterns and then link those together. So you only have to enter in the text once, but the styling can be different than on each one.
Okay. Lisa, sorry, just thinking about your question. Once I get through the rest of these questions, I have one more. I'm going to have Chris walk through those steps again. We'll do it a little bit faster without the interruption of all the questions and stuff, so you can kind of see how this comes together again. There's enough people on here. I'm like, if you guys have made it this far, you're probably all in for another quick 5 minutes. So Chris, if you don't mind, I think that might be helpful to help people see like the bigger picture of this.
Sure.
If we just run through it again one more time, just
Yeah.
more quickly without the,
Thank
pointing
you.
out everything.
Thank you, Anna and Chris. That would be helpful because with all the questions, I get derailed really easy, and then I'm like, okay, I don't understand the system. And if I try to watch the replay, I'm going to have to listen through all the questions. It would be a lot easier for me to see a presentation and then maybe have questions.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm good with that. I know it is a lot to take in, and it's good to have this feedback because there's definitely like, we are growing too, to learning how to share this with you guys. And so maybe there's something there that we need to adjust to make that more digestible for people like you who are in your position. So thank you. Okay. Can you rotate the text on the name pattern? Did I ask that one?
I think you can rotate the entire pattern itself, but it'll rotate all of the text fields.
Okay. Phil, I'm not quite sure what your very quick question to ask on chatbot, please, means. Like, do you just want a question for the chatbot? I'm not sure. BJ asks, is there a video for specific image placement for mugs, including side-to-side centering?
So with our with mugs in AnywherePOD, the kind of default setting here, I can just walk through one real fast. When you create a mug in AnywherePOD, it is going to the default setting is going to automatically duplicate the image on both sides of the mug for you. So if I come in here and say we go to add anything to it, it is going to automatically duplicate that on both sides of the mug for me. I didn't pick the best one because this one from Monster Digital doesn't have a template yet. Sorry, let me grab one that does here. Here we go. Let's go with district photo. So here, when I put in either upload a design or put in any text, it is going to duplicate that on both sides of the mug for me. So if you're doing something where you want the same image on both sides of the mug, we'll take care of duplicating that on both sides for you. If you want just the full wrap template and you're not wanting to do the same image, you just uncheck this box here at the top where it says mirror image on both sides, and then you can line up your images however you want. You kind of get then the full design template to make any changes that you want from there.
So,
Can you hear me now, Anna?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, it's a quick question. One of the gripes that I've had with a supplier, and I won't mention which shine on it is, but Chris will be after me. What I find really annoying with their chatbot is that, unlike others, they force you, when they want a screenshot, you've got to save it to a file on your local disk, then you've got to go find it, then you've got to print. All the while they're waiting, it's downtime. I've got 15 buttons to press to get an image in there, whereas most chatbots will allow you to take a quick screenshot and drag it or drop it into the chat. Is that possible with your chatbot?
Yes, I'm 99% sure that it does, because it would be the like actual contact support option that you would be into, that you can just upload an image there. You can also send an email to support@anywherepod.com. That gets you to the same end result essentially as what the kind of help icon does. It's just using that, a lot of times using that kind of chat GPT enabled bot that I mentioned before, can get you a question, a lot faster. And then if it doesn't, then you can reach out to our support. So,
Well, what I was referring to is that you're already online with a support agent at the other end and you're going back and forth, and I'm saying, it's not working. Okay, can you send me a screenshot? I want to be able to click one key, drag that or copy Control-C, Control-V, and drop it into the conversation.
Yeah, I believe this even has a little take screenshot button that you can do right here that you don't even have to use a third-party app to take your own screenshot. So
Yeah, there you go. The yes you can duo wins again. Thank you.
yeah, you betcha.
Okay, we have two more questions. These will be brief, and then we'll do one more kind of just overview of what we shared today. So just so you know where we're at. Is there a place in APOD to put in alt text?
There is not right now. So if you're referring to like on the images for Etsy, there is not right now. But that is something we've talked about adding, especially with the AI capabilities that we have to fill in your SEO. So it's not there yet, but we have been looking at options there.
How many times a day do you recommend checking orders? It gets busy during the holiday season.
Yeah, I mean, that's really going to kind of be personal preference. New orders take up to 1 hour usually with AnywherePOD to import into your account. But really, it's kind of up to you on when you process those and, your timing and availability. Some people like, getting in often and just hitting out what's there. So they're only doing a few at a time. Other people like to let them kind of pile up and then just spend, 20 or 30 minutes and go through all of them. So really kind of depends on volume and your own personal preference. I would try to hit by like early afternoon. I would try to have stuff done, and I probably wouldn't be as worried about it like late evenings, just because if they're working like US time, especially during the holiday season, the supplier is kind of backed up anyway. So, doing it in an evening versus early morning the next day, I wouldn't be as concerned about that, just as far as like timing of orders go.
Okay, this is going to be our last question in the chat, and then we will just do a quick run through showing you what we learned today in AnywherePOD, so it's not so fragmented. So you can see how it comes together. So Miriam asks, are we able to create Etsy listing templates from APOD that we just push to Etsy repeatedly for similar products so we don't have to start from scratch when creating new listings? I got used to creating the listing from a template in Etsy and then linking the Printify SKUs from there.
So you can do it the way that you described there of creating the template in Etsy and then kind of backwards linking it. That is possible to do with AnywherePOD, but in my opinion, it's not nearly as fast because a lot of the times people do that because they want like the Etsy attributes and a lot of that type of stuff already set in Etsy, and we actually already automate that process. So instead of doing it that way, tune in on Wednesday where you see us use the Rapid Lister, because we can actually make that process a lot faster. Even if it's just kind of one product you're wanting to create at a time, our Rapid Lister is a lot faster. It's going to create all of your mockups. It's going to create all of your attributes. It's going to create all of your SEO just all automatically for you. So I would say tune in on that. We have a much faster way than what you're used to doing, I think.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's go back to the very beginning.
First, we need to hit.
What?
I said, do we have a couple of hands up first that we need to hit before we do our
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Sorry.
Very, very quick question. I assume that when we cover open AI, are you going to give an overview of how the charges are accrued or what type of actions cause charges usage?
Yes, we will. So some of that will be covered tomorrow when we're talking about personalization, because the two main things you'll use OpenAI for right now is for the AI photo effects, so converting a customer's image into something else, which has some fees with it, and then the other is the SEO that we'll cover on Wednesday, which has a few fees but is very cheap too. So
okay, and the other real quick question: when you create when we create the new listing and we push it to Etsy, does it automatically create it in Printify, or is there another step?
There is not any other step. So when you create a product, it will create a product for you in Printify, but it's really only there to get the mockups. When an order comes in and we send the order over to Printify, that's when the newest artwork gets sent to Printify at that time. So it's really kind of at the order level that like is important of what gets sent over to Printify.
And same thing, like if you have a bundle, you create bundled product, it all of that gets sent over to Printify at the order time. It's not there before.
Correct. So it'll create a kind of a placeholder product just to get mock-ups. But since so much of what's done in AnywherePOD is personalized, and you can edit artwork in AnywherePOD and that type of stuff too. So when an order gets sent to Printify, it gets sent with the most up-to-date artwork that's available in your account.
So if you're wanting to create like samples or a manual order ahead of time, how do you do that if the artwork isn't there?
Yeah, so you can create a manual order in AnywherePOD. If you go if you go to any of your products, right here at the top, there is add to cart button. You can just click that and put in your address, and it'll put in a manual order for you.
Oh, beautiful. All right, thank you.
Yep, you bet.
Quick thing, Patricia basically had what I was going to ask about AI from budgetary considerations, but I wanted to make a quick comment. It's so rare to see a company, especially in these spaces we work in, that seems to be, and we'll find out, but I hope, as I'm experiencing today, customer service centric. Thank you so much for this great presentation, and I hope the rest of the experience is the same. Just want to say thank you.
Well, thank you for that, because I mean, that is something from day one that was a high priority to me, because not only do I know like that's what people are looking for, right? Like sometimes you need that little bit of extra help, and most companies aren't willing to give it. And I'm willing to, that's one of those things that we could control from the very beginning and make sure that we are given that level of support that, like I said, the level of support that we wish we had in various softwares throughout the year. Like, how many of us has signed up for a software, big or small, whether it's, Google or some small app, and you ask a question and you hope maybe to get an answer within the next couple of days. The worst thing, what drives me nuts the most, is it's like, you're working from home, right? Most of us are, and it's, Friday afternoon, and you hit a roadblock, and the best you could hope for is to maybe get an answer by Monday or Tuesday. You've lost an entire weekend. That's like a month's worth of work for some people. Is, you don't get very many free weekends to be able to like sit down and really work on stuff. So I appreciate the call out there. We really do try to do the best that we can to help people at the earliest possible time that we can. So
yes, yeah, absolutely. And I also believe that, like I said before, this isn't just a tool. This is, in my opinion, the way now to move forward doing print on demand. So it would do a disservice if we didn't, we have to show people this. It would be a disservice for you guys if we're like, this is the best way, and like this is like the next level, right? We're moving past the old way and like the archaic way, the caveman way, right? And then to just leave you hanging. So yes, we do pride in that. But as an educator in the POD space, I love teaching this and sharing this, because it really is going to change the way you do things. It automates so much. Like, I love seeing my orders coming in right now, and like, I don't have to do anything. It is so awesome. So why would I not want to share that? But thank you guys so much for being here. It's great.
Yeah, I saw someone say, so we will get a response on the weekend. So I can't guarantee that every single weekend, every single day you will, but I can say in the last, 2.5 years since AnywherePOD has been around, I could probably count on one or two fingers a weekend that somebody didn't get a response. So I can't say every single, but we certainly do our best to get you responses as fast as possible. So
awesome. Okay, let's go through this listing again. I think we've kind of covered. We have all the hands.
One more hand.
And one more hand. Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're missing them, man. Come on, Sarah.
I know. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. Well, maybe I exited out of the box.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much for this. It's amazing, and I'm loving APOD. I'm so happy. But I have a quick question, and I'm just gonna, if you can do a video for. I'm just now listing journals. This is the first time I'm listing journals, but these ones are 5 different designs per listing, and every design had different colors, 3 different colors for each one. I asked the question, but I still don't get it. So if you can tell me what to do when this is happening, like, I don't know what to do. Thank you.
Sure. So let me explain briefly, but then also encourage you to reach out to support so we could, do a little mini video or one-on-one call if we need to or something there. But it's going to be a similar way to what we did on this ornament where we did the deer and then added the giraffe. It's going to be very similar to that, except you're going to be changing your background color and then just renaming your variants to kind of match that. If it sounds like you may have something, like you said, specific with your journals, if you share with our support, if you can just get the Canva template link and send that over to our support, we can take a look at that then and send you a little video back, just a quick little 5-minute video or something on how to get those created and set up to match with what you're trying to do in your design.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. All right.
Okay, now's the time. Woohoo!
Now we're ready. Okay, let me get back here. All right. So what we're going to run through, we'll run through one more time, just that kind of same example that we just did with the ornament. My mockup template's already going to be set up, but this will give you a good idea of kind of how fast it can be to create new products in AnywherePOD once you have this set up. So what I'm going to do here is go to my product catalog, and we're going to come over to ornaments. And I'm just going to look at Printify here. So I'm going to go to Printify only. And then for our Swift POD ornament, I know that's on page 2 here. So we're going to come here to Swift POD, and we're going to go to Start Designing. Now from here, if I'm using something other than Canva, I would upload a PNG file here. In this case, I'm using Canva. So I'm just going to say add from Canva here. And we want page 1 to start with. So I'm going to go to import layers, as that will import all of my text fields and everything set up. And we'll have my design all set up where all I need to do is check the fields that are personalized. So we're going to do personalized year. And then we'll also do personalized name. And then I'm also going to go ahead and put Emily on top here. So we have this in the same order as my design. And since I imported from Canva, that's literally all that I need to do. Everything's set up for this product. When I click on create product, this is now going to go through and generate my placeholder artwork for me. I already previously came into the add mockup template section here and added this mockup template. So my mockup template is set up and ready to go here for me as well. So here is my custom mockup that I had. And if I refresh, I should have my vendor mockups available here as well that would be available for us to select from. From here, of course, we can set our title tags and description. You can do that with AI. We'll be covering that more in particular on Wednesday. Down here, I'm also going to put in my personalization instructions. I'd say enter the name and date you would like on the ornament. Example, Emily, and 2025. And then let's also add our design option here. So we said we're going to do a design, and this is going to be a deer. So I want to hit save on that before I add my other variation. So this has my initial product created now with my custom mockup. The only thing I didn't do yet was that title tags and description. So optionally, if you have additional variations to add, in this case, we're going to add a giraffe. This would also be how you would add different colored backgrounds or other artwork variations or other products, any of that type of stuff that we talked about that you can do with the add variants functionality. So I'm going to go to add variants.
Sorry, I'm just going to stop you right here. So really, if that's all if you just had that one design and that's what you wanted up, just send it. You're done right here. This is just to show you one more functionality that you could add. But at this point, you're done with that listing. All you would need to do is just go back to the screen, Chris. Sorry.
Yep, you're good.
And all you have to do is click set Etsy listing or set it to your Shopify store.
You'd create new Etsy listing is what you'd want.
Sorry, create new Etsy listing. Yep. So you would be done. That would be the process. Okay, now continuous variations.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Would it bring it in as a draft?
Yes. So I just clicked on create new Etsy listing. That is going to publish it to Etsy as a draft. So I can view that in my draft list. Or if I click on this green Etsy link, you can see here there's a view on Etsy button. And if I click on that, it's going to go ahead and open that product up directly inside of Etsy with everything set and configured here, how I had it in AnywherePOD. Okay, so just to round out, so we've finished the same example that we did earlier. I'm going to go to add variants, and I'm going to go back to my ornaments here. And in this case, we're going to select that same ornament. So I'm going to go again to Swift POD here, and we'll add from Canva again. This time we had our giraffe on page 2. We'll say import layers. And on this one, we just have the name. So we'll mark that as personalize. And when I click on update product, it'll add that variant to my listing here. And I can just rename this one to be giraffe. And we'll hit save on that. So now that has my giraffe option here. So since I already published to Etsy, we were talking about some of the flexibility that we have. We can actually update our Etsy listing since we've already published it over. If I just go to update listing, and I can check my variants and images. So all those new updates get sent over. And when I hit update listing, it's going to actually publish those updates over to Etsy for me. So now when I go to view on Etsy and I go to my variations, you'll see now I have the option for deer and my option for giraffe. Cool.
Does that make sense?
I hope that last final quick run through was a good, because it really is like, even sometimes when Anna says, oh, you can create it in 2 minutes, I'm like, I bet I could do it in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because it really is like, it's just a matter of uploading your artwork and hitting go, and it's all good there. So
yeah. And on Wednesday we're gonna turbocharge that, so it's gonna be even faster.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Okay. So
Alrighty.
Lisa says that was very helpful. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I think that wraps up our workshop. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about personalization. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the education portion at the beginning and really try to stick to that part. And then we'll cover all the questions again in the end, however long it takes. So thank you guys so much for being here. Please join AnywherePOD.com, and you can use the coupon code bootcamp30 to get your first month free, or you get $40 off the annual price. Is that correct, Chris?
Yep, you got it.
Woohoo! Okay, awesome. And guys, just a quick favor. This is our first time doing this workshop with such a large group. If you could just take 30 seconds and write in the chat what you liked or didn't like. I'm looking to improve even the next 2 days. If you could write the things that like were aha moments to you, or like, did you like this long format? Did you think it was, or did you not like, what did you not like about it? What you liked about it? What was your aha moments? That would really help us a lot to improve the next 2 days and our content moving forward. So if you could just spend 30 seconds doing that, that would be really, really helpful.
All right,
Okay,
I'm going to end the recording here so it doesn't go longer, but we'll stay on if there's any feedback or last question about the next couple of days. So make sure to join us the next couple of days. Like Anna said, like what we showed today, while very powerful, really, I think where things really start to get supercharged is what we're about to show in the next couple of days. So I appreciate everybody taking the time to join us and for checking out the replay if that's where you are.
Okay. Awesome. Sorry, I'm just reading through all the comments right now.